I'm not a Fire Emblem YouTuber. Heck, not even a gaming YouTuber, or even a YouTuber in general. Neither do I particularly want to be honest. But I had this random, probably unlikely but still interesting nonetheless theory regarding the new Fire Emblem game coming out this year, Fortune's Weave. I want to emphasize that I'm just a random dude that likes Fire Emblem. I'm not an expert theory crafter or Fire Emblem lore master. However, I have made some observations regarding this game that I simply just need to put out there. I admit this theory is dumb and is more vibe-based than anything, but anyway, here's the theory. I think there'll be multiple incarnations of Sothis in this game. This theory started out with a simple question. How will we be able to reverse time in this game? Every game since Shadows of Valentia has had some kind of turn rewinding mechanic, be it the Draconic Time Crystal in Engage, Miller's Turn Wheel in SOV, and Divine Pulse in Three Houses. Perhaps most importantly, these gameplay mechanics are given actual in-universe explanations, and are specifically tied to the main player-controlled characters of each game. The way the main four lords of Fortune's Weave are presented are very much different to how the main four lords of Three Houses were presented. Fortune's Weave very much seems like it's going to have multiple different protagonists that will be the main character you control for sections of the game, rather than Three Houses where you play as one lord and choose another to join their house. Even if Kai is presumably the main one of the four, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's the only main controllable lord, since his green unit status in the later map says that there will be at the very least one map where you don't control him. Because of this, the time rewind mechanic has to be something that every one of the four protagonists can use. Now, it would be easy to just say, oh yeah, it'll work the same as the last few Fire Emblem games, and there'll be some arbitrary lore reason for it that we have no way of knowing about. However, here's where I want to speculate and give my theory. Since it's presumably Fodlan, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to suggest that the time rewind mechanic will be Divine Pulse again. However, in Three Houses, Divine Pulse as an ability is intrinsically linked to Sothis. My theory is this. Each protagonist has a shared link to Sothis, similar to what Byleth had, potentially meaning that all at once, there are actually multiple incarnations of Sothis at the same time. What if the adult Sothis we see in the first trailer is actually a misdirect, and that is just the form of Sothis inhabiting only one of the protagonists, and maybe each protagonist has a different incarnation of Sothis reflecting different stages of her life? Or how about we get even crazier? What if the adult Sothis we see in the trailer is actually much later in the game, and it's actually Sothis fully reincarnated into a physical form because of insert plot reason here? And the
"Have you forgotten me so soon?"
is her cheekily referencing how she very clearly looks different to the weird spirit version of her we see earlier in the game. Basically, what I'm saying is this. If Fortune's Weave has Divine Pulse as its turn rewinding mechanic, then if you are able to use Divine Pulse no matter which main character you're currently following, then that could point to all four of the main characters being quote-unquote arbiters of Sothis, similar to Byleth, which could have some really interesting implications on how the story could go. Again, like I said, there's basically no evidence for this, and it's very much vibe-based, but I'm curious on what other people think of this. Is this a concept you'd be down for Fortune's Weave to follow? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's about it. So, bye, I guess.